Okay, yeah, I'm Ed. I'm a contributor to Mezzanine CMS. In this talk, I want to take us in a journey to explore the features that Mezzanine provides by default and how they can help you with your Django knowledge to really make the most out of it and create great content-oriented sites. We're also going to explore taking an existing Django app and converting it to a fully integrated Mezzanine app. Right, so I want to start by talking a little bit about Mezzanine CMS. Who here knows anything about Mezzanine? All right, so this intro is going to be needed. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. It was created by Stephen McDonald, a guy from Australia. It's been under development for 7 years now with commit activity every week. It has more than 275 contributors. You can also find a very helpful community. We have a very active mailing list and where you can get development and support in general. It's well documented, I believe, and you also have a variety of third-party packages, many of them available through pip too. So now, a little bit more about the architectural or philosophical side of Mezzanine. Mezzanine is a very powerful, consistent, and flexible content management platform. It provides a very simple yet highly extensible architecture that encourages diving in and hacking on the code. You'll get the same batteries included approach as Django, but applied to content management. You get a blog for free, hierarchical page navigation, scheduled publishing of your pages, multi-tenancy support for multiple sites, and there's a huge list of features that are there for you. Mezzanine also inherits a bunch of Django's fine-grained permission controls, security best practices, of course, and you'll be able to leverage much of the goodies and things that you already know about Django in your Mezzanine application. But maybe the most important thing about Mezzanine is it's just Django. It's right there in the docs if you go check them. There's a quote that says, Mezzanine is just Django, so everything you know about writing models, about writing views, about writing templates will be good for you, and you'll be able to hit the ground running if you know at least a little bit of Django already. All right, so let's get started now and convert a small application. Let's get started installing Mezzanine and then convert an application to work with it. So as you can see, as any other Python package, you can install it via pip. It will download all the dependencies, including Django. Then you can run this Mezzanine project command, which don't get scared, it's just a wrapper around Django's Django project command, and it will give you the started project layout or project template with some of the settings and URL configuration already filled in for you. But other than that, it's just a regular Django project. Then after that, you run create database, create DB, which is the same thing. It's just a wrapper around migrate from Django. You only needed to create a default user, a super user, and if you want, you can also install some demo content for you to get started quickly. And after that, run server, which is just a standard Django command. So now you open your browser in localhost, and this is what you get out of the box. You have a complete nested page tree. You've got insight search. You've got a basic bootstrap template. You've got a blog and many, many other things just for free, just for installing Mezzanine via pip. So let's write our own application or convert a standard Django application to better integrate it with Mezzanine. So I'm going to use the polls application because I think it's well known. If you have ever completed the Django tutorial, it's just a very simple application. I like it because it'll let us play with two models, the polls model. If you remember, it just has a question prompt, and then it has the choices, which are an inline model that you'll be able to give options to answer the question you're polling about. This is editable via the admin side. You just register the admin class. It has a list and a detail view too, and it will handle form input like voting. This is what the poll application does by default when you complete the tutorial. So how do you install an application in Mezzanine? Well, it's just like any Django project. You add your app to installed apps and settings, you wire up your URL configuration, and finally you run migrations, if any, and you're up and running. Of course, if your app is more complex and you need to define custom middleware, you need to define context processors, or anything like that, you can do it. It's just like installing anything on Django. So right after doing that and adding the Pulse application as it came from the tutorial directly into the Mezzanine project, this is what you get. Mezzanine uses Graphly as the admin interface, but other than that, you don't need any changes in your admin class or your model definition or anything to get this working. You get the regular model admin and also the inlines, just as you define them in the regular application. And the public-facing views also work as you would expect it. This is the view that comes with the Pole app. Again, you just wire the URL configuration and you'll get this working out of the box without any changes. So let's spice it up a little bit. Let's say that some new requirements come in and you want to change the behavior of the application. So we can do that. Well, let's define those requirements. Let's say we want a publishing workflow. And what do I mean with a publishing workflow? That we want some application, some polls to be able to be set on draft. For example, if our admin users, they're creating a new poll, but they don't want to publish it right away, they can save it in the admin, save it as draft, and it will not be available in the public side. So they can come back and work on it later. We also want them to be able to schedule publishing. We want them to be able to say, okay, this poll is going to be live, going to go live in next week, Monday midnight. And we also can set expiration dates, and we want to say, okay, this poll is going to expire next Friday at the end of the day. We also want the most recent polls to appear first, so we want to have some way to control which poll was published recently, right? Which is a common requirement. We also want to use logs instead of primary keys in the URL, so our URLs for SEO and readability purposes, maybe we don't want to have, mysite.com/poll/43 when we can have poll/myAwesomePoll, more shareable, more readable. And we also want the choices to be sortable. And our admin users, let's say, they have the choices and they just don't want to sort them as they add them. Maybe they want to change the sorting after that. So how are we going to do that with Mezzanine? Well, this is the original model, the original polls model. If you very easy, just a single field, the question, which is just a text prompt for users to insert the question. Now the displayable model, this is one of the base models that ships with Mezzanine, and it's the one that you're going to be inheriting a lot. It's the base for all public-facing content pieces in Mezzanine. This is what's going to add the draft published status to our model instances. This is the same that's going to allow you for scheduled publishing. It can auto-generate slugs from your title and just create them automatically, though you can override these slugs if you want to craft them yourself. And it comes with some helper admin classes and a manager for that. You're going to get some fields by default. You're going to get a title field. You're going to get a meta title field if you want to change how the piece of content appears in the browser title bar. You're going to get this slug field, which can be auto-generated, or you can customize it. You'll also get a description in case you want to automatically populate the browser meta description with the description from your content or the content from your page. You also get a publish date, which is going to be a standard Django datetime object, which you can manipulate later. You also get the status, where you're going to be able to check whether a piece of content is published or is set as draft, and a bunch more which are not important right now. So we're going to inherit from this model. We just import it from Mezzanine, and yeah, we just subclass it, and that's it. We actually can get rid of the question prompt because the model is going to define its own title field, and that's what we're going to use for the question. And yeah, just inherit from it. Of course, in case you need to add more fields, you can do it normally. Create your own Django fields and customize. If we want to say, oh, each poll is going to have a picture, for example, okay, a file field right there. And this is the original admin. You can see we have to define our fields. We want to define the inlines to display the choices. We want to define who's going to be displayed in the list view. And we want to define who is going to be searchable from the admin. So this is the original one that came from the polls application. And this is how it looked. And we're going to use now the displayable admin class on that. And it's the same. We're just going to inherit from Mezzanine. And just the only change we need to do is tell it which inlines we want to use, right? The choices, little choices behind it, after it. We just need to specify that because we'll see how this will change the admin interface for us. So this is the new admin you get, and you can see you get, well, the title. That's our old question prompt. We use that now. The slug will be generated from that, and automatically you can use it in your views to retrieve the object. You also get the draft and publish toggle for your users to pick if they want the content to be draft or published. You can set the publish from and expires on dates to define when should something be available in the public site or not. And in the metadata panel, which this one is a collapsible panel, it will allow you to tweak the generated slug, add meta keywords, add a description, and choose if you want to include this page in your site's sitemap. And in the list view, we're going to get a full search on the title of the post. We're going to get a date hierarchy on the published date. You're going to be able to filter by status. And you're going to be able to switch out the published status of the polls right from the list view. So all of these we just got from inheriting from Mezzanine's models and Mezzanine admin classes. So now, how about the view? If we know that our polls are going to be, some are going to be draft and some are going to be published, we of course only want users to be able to see the published ones. We simply have to use the publish manager. Basically, what you have to do, and this is a very simple class-based view, the one that again shipped with the polls application. The only thing you want to do is when you're getting your query set, either on a class-based view or a function-based one, instead of doing objects.all, you do objects.publish. And with that, with the manager that comes from Mezzanine, you already are going to return only the published one. So you don't have to worry that your public-facing users, your public site users are going to see content that's not meant for them to see. And after that, you can do the order by the publish date to get the most recent post first. Yeah, so this is what the view ends up looking like. You get the polls, and then you have them sorted by how recently were they published. The next thing is what we were talking about, being able to sort the little inlines, the little choices. Like we don't want to have the choices appear as they were added. Maybe the admin users want to have, you know, I want this one on top, let's move this one to the bottom. So we're going to use the Orderable model, which also ships with Mezzanine. It's ideal for sortable inlines. It comes in both stacked and tabular varieties. You can drag and drop sort with it, and it will also support dynamic creation for more inline forms. So you don't have to define how many extra inlines you want to show to the user. They can just keep creating them and populating them. Of course, you can limit that with the standard Django admin classes. So it's the same here. We're gonna edit our choice model. We're going to inherit from Orderable and just set a foreign key to our old poll model. Set the choice text and set the integer field to store how many votes has each choice got. And in the admin class, we only inherit from tabular dynamic inline admin. There's also the stacked variety, and this is what you get. You get your choices, and you get those little handles, which you can sort. What users can use their mouse to sort them. You know, they can use any arbitrary ordering they want. And they also get the little add another button, which will let them create as many inlines as they want. They don't have to do 3 at a time or anything like that. And lastly, well, some templates. I'm just going to go quickly over this because we don't have much time. But this is the template that the Pulse application came with, right? Not very pretty, but you know, you can write any CSS you want. It gets you all that flexibility. But if we go ahead and edit it to extend some of the basic templates that come with Mezzanine already, if you, for example, extend the base HTML template, use the title block, and put all your main content in this main block, this is what you get. You get it integrated into the Bootstrap theme. Now here, I know you might have different opinions on Bootstrap and everything. The point here is not to make you use Bootstrap. I don't want you to think that, oh, Mezzanine is Bootstrap, then I cannot do anything out of it. It's just there as a default to get you up and running quickly. You want to show a prototype quickly, you want to use a free Bootstrap theme, this is for you then. You only have to extend Mezzanine templates and use the right blocks, and you can get something like this very quickly. So let's review what we did, the steps that we followed to convert a regular Django application into a fully integrated Mezzanine app. So in the models, your main models, you're going to want to evaluate if you want to inherit from Displayable to get you all the public-facing goodies that we reviewed before, the auto-generated log, the publish status, the scheduled publishing. For inlines, you're probably gonna want to inherit from Orderable to get that drag and drop ordering on your models. When you're making queries in your database, in your views or whatever, you want to use objects.publish instead of objects.all to make sure that scheduled publishing is working as expected. And then for templates, you want to extend Mezzanine blocks. You want to use the Mezzanine included templates if you want to use Bootstrap on your site and just get that site up and running quickly. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that I haven't even talked about here. Mezzanine supports custom page types, so you can create custom pages that your users can use when creating the page tree in Mezzanine. You also have a complete file manager in your server. That means users can upload and manage their files. Instead of just having that little file input in your forms, in your admin, you can have one that lets them browse inside the media that already exists in the site, and it's much more easier to work like that. Mezzanine also ships with a series of Fabric scripts that you can use to automate deployment. So if you get a $5 VPS from any web hosting provider online, you can get up and running very easily, even if you haven't done any Django deployments before. It also has page processors that will let you, it's like writing views, but for your custom pages, and will let you inject context into the template wherever you need it. It also has an e-commerce module where you're going to be able to integrate a shopping cart and shopping categories and prices and variations. It also has a WYSIWYG editor, which is swappable. In case you don't like the default, you can define very easily your own custom class and include your media to be used instead of the default. It also has user editable settings, which will allow your users, for maybe stuff very simple like, I don't know, what's your site's Facebook or Twitter URL, and you just want to type that in. You don't want that in version control. You want that for them to edit it in the admin, and it's easier, and you can use it whatever you want in the backend or in your templates. So there's a little bit more you can read. I mean, what can you do after this talk? Mezzanine has a page in their documentation that's called the content architecture. And I think it's one of the most important pages. It goes into detail of what I've explained here. What is the displayable model? What are you supposed to do with it? It also has another strategy for creating custom page types, which is out of the scope of this talk, but you should read that. There's a couple of community blogs that you're going to be able to read too. That's very good on some specific battle-tested patterns to develop Mezzanine applications. And there's also the Mezzanine blog application. As I told you, out of the box you're going to get a blog for your site. This blog application I think it's a great case study of a non-trivial app developed for Mezzanine, because it has a good deal of views, it has much more complex models, it has its own template tags. So it's a good way to see how you're gonna create a more robust, complex application that is integrated with Mezzanine. And there's no links there, but I'm gonna share the slides later and they will have links. So thank you. I left some the slide URLs there, and there's a repo for this everything we went through here, which you can use to better understand how to convert your Django app to a Mezzanine app.
Hey, it's nice to understand how Mezzanine works. I just have a curious question that since Mezzanine is talking more about the content, right? So what is the level of support that it can provide for a NoSQL type data that's flowing from Django to this? I've seen a branch for Django that Django started developing a NoSQL support, so how this framework adapts that?
On that level, I'll say it's the same as Django. I mean, if you can get a non-relational database working with Django, with the ORM, that's what Mezzanine uses, the ORM. And if you can fake that, so to speak, it should work. I haven't really done it, and Mezzanine doesn't provide anything specific for it.
Okay.
But it's just whatever worked with Django will work with Mezzanine in that respect.
Oh, thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? All right. Thank you for your time.
Okay.